Just a couple of days away from the Texans and the Steelers getting it finished up in the wild card round of playoffs. And man, I can't wait. Playoff coverage presented by my friends at TDECU. Get you a Texans debit card, tdcu.org/Texans. Where do the Steelers have a few advantages in this game? Where the Texans have the advantages. We'll play the checkmark game. We'll talk about the all pros, and we will do trading cards as tarot cards as well. A chance for you to win a CJ Stroud PSA, a graded card, and oh, so much more. The caffeine this morning, a good old-fashioned Dr. Pepper Zero. Kraken, let's go. Good stuff. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. Where do these two teams have the advantage over the other one in this matchup on Monday Night Football? And they'll know exactly who they're set to play. All the games will be in the books, and the Texans or the Steelers, whoever wins that game, will know who they're going to play and where they're going to go play, or if they're somehow, some way hosting in that second round, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. But before you figure out who you're going to go play, you got to go win the football game. So where are their advantages for each of these teams? Let's start over there with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the heritage franchise, where the Steelers have an advantage over the Houston Texans. I think we start first with, well, it's in Pittsburgh. That's the biggest advantage that Pittsburgh is going to have. It's going to be a rowdy crowd. It's going to be a loud crowd. You'll have the terrible towels a-waving all over the place, and you'll have an environment that the Texans have not experienced since Kansas City and have only experienced twice this year. I would say Seattle, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh are all on the same level or around each other when it comes to environments that you're going to go into from a volume standpoint, a rowdiness standpoint. So with those being the places that you have seen the Texans play, there were some operational issues. So a little loud, had trouble getting the plays in, had trouble getting the calls correct, had trouble just operationally, executionally for the Houston Texans. That's an advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Texans have to be ready for that. Nick Haley talked about it this week. He said, hey, we are always working on that. We're always trying to make that excellent. And the success they ultimately ended up having in Kansas City, maybe you can draw on that a little bit. You can draw on that a little bit and have yourself ready for Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. So that's the first advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would say that experience is on the Steelers' side. When you think about how long Mike Tomlin has coached, and I know the results haven't been good in the playoffs. It's been about 10 years since Tomlin's won a playoff game. I know the results haven't been good for Tomlin, but he's been around the block. He's seen it all. He's done it all. Won a Super Bowl and so on. Same with Aaron Rodgers. He's seen it all. He's done it all. There's a lot of experience over there on the Steelers side. Cam Hayward's played a lot of really important football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So experience is something that the Steelers have an advantage in. Now, how much does it matter? I think it matters from a adjustment in game standpoint. I think it matters from a, what you see and maybe what the Texans throw at them standpoint. I don't think it necessarily is a huge data point in this because Aaron Rodgers' experience in the playoffs where he's been really, really good, he was a much different human being. He's more mobile. He had a better arm and all those things. Mike Tomlin had better teams when he had a lot of success. But just I've seen it all. You're not going to trick me. You're not going to throw anything at me that I haven't seen before. That, to me, feels like an element of an advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like their running back room. I feel like their running back room is pretty solid. They're going to trust those guys. They're going to rush with both of them. They're going to throw the ball to both of them. I feel like that is a slight advantage compared to the Texans, where the Steelers have an advantage at running back, whereas the Texans maybe don't have as much of an advantage at running back. And I would go on to say that the Steelers have the special teams advantage in this game. They know how that stadium plays. Their kicker knows how the surface plays. The kicker knows how the wind plays. He's experienced all different types and varieties of winds and things like that. So I would say from that standpoint, the special teams advantage, the punter, the kicker, the special teams unit, old Danny Smith, they're going to show him on TV, and he's going to be excited when they make a play, chewing his bubble gum. Okay, I'm tired of that guy. Hope we don't see him on Monday because I hope the Steelers don't make any special teams plays. But I would say special teams is an advantage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's where I think the Steelers have the advantage. Where do the Texans have the advantage? Well, I think they're just overall a more talented team, both on offense and defense. I like the overall offensive talent and the overall defensive talent more for the Houston Texans than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like they have more on offense. I feel like they have more on defense. And the special teams, equally as talented, I would say. I think overall the talent advantage is for the Texans in this one. I like the momentum that the Texans are riding into this one just because, hey, you've won this many games. And I know it doesn't matter a ton, but you feel good about, hey, they've won some close games. They've had to go on the road and win in a tough environment to keep this winning streak going. The winning streak started with a comeback. You've showcased a lot of different ways to win in this, or let me rephrase that. You've showcased a lot of different tribulations that you can overcome to win in this winning streak. So I really like that from the Houston Texans in this standpoint, in this element. So I like the momentum heading into this game. I love the edge rush advantage. When you think about the Steelers offensive line, you think of the Texans pass rushers. I love the advantage for the Houston Texans when it comes to their pass rush. That is a huge advantage for the Houston Texans. I love the Texans' advantage at cornerback. Again, another massive advantage for the Houston Texans. Not just Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter, but also Petrie in there at that nickel spot where he can wreak havoc and he can cover well. He's done it pretty well this year. So that was a concern for Petrie, but he's been good at it. So I like the advantage there at cornerback in addition to the pass rushers. And I like the linebacker matchup here for the Texans as well. I like Azeez and Henry's opportunities in this one. Go out there, seek and destroy is what I call it. You see it, you go hit it. Okay, the seek and destroy from Henry and Azeez is one that I really like in this one. And then flipping it over to offense, well, I don't feel like there's a lot of individual advantages for the Texans offense. Nico Collins is the best offensive player in this game. Nico Collins is better than DK Metcalf. He's better than the running backs over there in Pittsburgh. He's better than any of his teammates. So Nico is the best offensive player in this football game. And typically when you have the best offensive player, you have the better offense. We'll see if the Texans put it all together on Monday night. I have a hunch they're going to have a better offense than the Steelers come Monday night. But Nico Collins being the best offensive player in this game, that's a big advantage for the Houston Texans as well. So the Steelers with some advantages in experience, the home field. I like their special teams situation. And then over on the Texans side, it's more about talent and the overall ability. And while it might be about the headsets and the age over there on Pittsburgh sideline, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes on the Texans sideline and how dang talented and how good they are. A couple of all-pros, might I add, for the Houston Texans on the defense, of course, and a second-team all-pro on the defense as well. So more talented on offense, more talented on defense, good advantages in the defensive landscape. A lot to like about this matchup for the Houston Texans. We'll get to some of your comments, your questions, your joys, and your concerns right after time by my friends at Sleeper. Sleeper, predicting a couple of statistical predictions, putting them together and seeing if you can turn something into a big win. We put a sleeper entry together each and every week. Sign up with my coach Stoots, S-T-O-O-T-S, S-T-O-O-T-S, and you're going to get a $20 no deposit required entry. You're going to get a deposit match up to $100. Here's my code Stoots, S-T-O-O-T-S. Let's put an entry together right now. Look at this sleeper right there. Just making some statistical predictions. Pass yards. I don't love anything in the pass yards. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Rush yards. How about the little CJ Stroud taking off in the playoffs? Hadn't used his legs a ton since he returned from the concussion, but CJ Stroud going to get it done. Anytime touchdown. I just talked about Nico Collins being the best offensive player in this game. Nico with the anytime touchdown. Field goals made. 3's a little much for Kaimi. I could definitely see 2 for Chris Boswell. We're going to go more on the Steelers kicker, and let's go find the sacks. I like these defenses. This is a good defense for the Steelers. It's a great defense for the Houston Texans. How about T.J. Watt getting home for a sack? And I can't leave out first-time All-Pro Will Anderson on the sack either. $5 turns it into 116 smackaroos. Whew, that's the entry right there. 23 timesing our money if we get all of these correct. Go big or go home. It's the playoffs. That's what we're putting together with Sleeper. Use that code Stoots, STOOTS. Terms, conditions do apply. Appreciate my friends at Sleeper for sponsoring this video. Let's get to your comments, your questions, your joys, your concerns. The checkmark game is on the horizon. Edward is in here. Good morning to you. John is in here. Let's go Wild Card Weekend. Cody, my man. John, good to see you in here. My friend HDAV Traveler. Austin Jack, appreciate you. Houston's in here. Morning to you. Good morning to George. Let's go Texans. That hype video has me ready to run through a wall. I used to have 4 walls in my condo. Now I only have 3 walls because I ran through one of them watching it yesterday. Zach says steamroller. Texans taking care of those Steelers. Frank says, what's up, Cody Code? I'm ready for Monday Night Football. You and me both. Long wait, man. Long wait. Monday Night Football. Chewy's here. Chris is here. JB Allen, the Annihilator, is here. Appreciate you. Mike, morning fellow AFC champs. Oh, Mike's calling his shot early. Mike is calling his shot early. Poncelios can't wait for Monday. You and me both, buddy. Halston, I like how D'Amico gave Rodgers respect. He deserved it this time. Instead of saying he's not an elite QB, made him respond in a way last time. Results, Texans lost. D'Amico's done a pretty good job of not giving too much bulletin board material at the podium. So I see what you're talking about from last time. Certainly. I thought Danny Smith was y'all's favorite coach. Oh, they're on the sideline. I hope this team knows Pittsburgh fans were chanting, "We want Houston." No, they're aware. They're aware. What if Christian Harris' secret weapon taps into playoff Harris County? Well, then that'll be one of the biggest shocks of the season because he hadn't showcased anything close to that ability in his time. All pro for Derek Stingley and Will Anderson. Of course, Daniil Hunter, a second team All Pro. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. Jimmy's in here. Texans Tangents is in here. Shout out to Cody. Great job. Thank you, Jimmy. Shout out to you for watching. DK says, I'd be more hyped if those videos were Brian Cushing instead of JJ. Come on. I like the JJ videos. Though, Landry's point that he made on SNL yesterday about JJ rooting for the Steelers in some way, shape, or form because of his brother, it's well taken. It's well noted. So, something to pay attention to. Also, by the way, we will do trading cards as tarot cards at the end of the show. I'll also tell you how you can win this CJ Stroud rookie card. In fact, let me just go ahead and tell you how you can win it right now. Thanks to my friends over at One Stop Card Shop in Bel Air. So, One Stop Card Shop, One Stop Card Shop TX on Facebook. This is the post, okay? This is the post I need you. Go give a score prediction. Go give a prediction on who scores the first touchdown. Now, they're going to give you a prize for being the first touchdown, correct, or correctly predicting the score, or getting closest to the score. I'm going to randomly pick somebody off of this post to win this CJ Stroud card. And there's already a couple of people posted on this, okay? There's already a couple of people posted. So a random winner is going to win a CJ Stroud card and some other cards from my personal collection. And then they've got to give you a chance, or they're giving you a chance there. If you guess the first touchdown winner, if you get closest to the score, hey, you're going to win some other stuff from my friend. One Stop Card Shop, TX on Facebook. Go like the page, follow the page, and then comment a score prediction on this post, and you're going to have yourself a chance to win that CJ Stroud card, and I will mail it right to you if you are the randomly selected winner. So appreciate One Stop Card Shop for taking care of us, giving us great cards to give away. And then, of course, we talked about it. The All-Pros for the Houston Texans. Derek Stingley, a first-team All-Pro back-to-back years. The first All-Pro nod for Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter a second-team All-Pro for the Houston Texans. And Jalen Petrie apparently just missed, Kamari Lassiter, and some other Texans a little bit further down the rankings. Unfortunately, no All-Pro nod for Kamari Lassiter. He was deserving of it, but the voters decided otherwise. Let's get to that Texans defense, that Steelers offense, and do the checkmark game, the first half of the checkmark game. And we'll get to that right after I tell you a little bit about my friends at Manta Sleep. Oh, Cody, what do you have on your face there? Oh, nothing, just my tool for the best sleep ever. Get deeper sleep with a Manta Sleep Mask, a breathable, lightweight, light-blocking tool that takes away all the light that makes your sleep so much better, man. This thing is lightweight and it blocks every bit of the light, and it's totally adjustable. It's not going to slip or anything like that while you're sleeping. I'm a side sleeper. This one doesn't move. You can even adjust where the eyes go. And again, breathable. Lets the air through. You're not going to get hot. I was worried I was going to get hot wearing this. That is not the case, my friends at Manta. This sleep mask, it blocks out all the light. It makes my naps even better. It's going to be incredible for travel. Chilling on the plane, I'll be conked out. I won't see any of that awfulness. Long car rides on road trips, they're even better with Manta Sleep Mask. You'll be at your destination just like that. Get you one and get 10% off. Use my code STOOTS, STOOTS, in all caps, STOOTS, STOOTS. Get 10% off your order. The link in the description down below. My friends at Manta want to take care of your sleep, make it deeper than ever. Let's get to the checkmark game. The Houston Texans defense that has 3 All-Pros in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. What are we going to do here? Well, as we have done time and time again, we're going to go ahead and give a checkmark to DeMeco Ryans for operating this defense. That is a checkmark that, well, when you're one of the best defenses in football, as the operator, organizer, coach, you're going to get a checkmark for that. So DeMeco Ryans, the headset, gets a checkmark for that. Let's take a look at these safeties. Look at that. Jalen Reed. I anticipate it will be Jalen Reed. Now, there still has to be an official roster move and all that jazz for Jalen Reed, but I anticipate it will be Jalen Reed at starting safety opposite Kalen Bullock. Okay? Bullock and Reed, a nice young tandem, haven't played a ton of football together. Obviously, Bullock's played a lot over the past 2 years, but Reed hasn't played nearly at all and hasn't played nearly at all with Bullock. So Reed missed a lot of training camp with an injury, missed most of the season with an injury, played, got hurt, missed time, and he's going to come back here. So Reed and Bullock as the safeties, I like the combination. I do worry a little bit about Reed. I do have a little bit of a concern about the young guy being in there. But hey, what's your other option? Kayvon Wallace, it didn't look very good last week. I know it's my guy. I know me and Landry talked with him, but it didn't look very good the other week. So Reed is something to pay attention to in this matchup. Reed is something that you have to pay attention to from a coverage standpoint, doing what you're supposed to do, doing your job, all of those things. So Reed, Bullock, going to be the safeties for the Houston Texans. Again, I'm throwing a check mark in between these linebackers. I just like the way they've been able to come together coming out of that Chargers game. Henry To'o bounced back after a horrible Raiders game. Azeez, obviously, we saw how important he was to the Texans in that Chargers game. So I'm splitting a check mark between To'o and Azeez Al-Shire. Hey, if you're an All-Pro, I got to give you 2. Okay? If you're an All-Pro, I got to give you 2. 2 check marks for Derek Stingley, and hasn't been dinged up or banged up or anything like that, playing at a very high level. Yet again, another All-Pro for Derek Stingley. So Stingley with the All-Pro nod, he's going to get 2 check marks. Kamari Lassiter, he's a freak, man. I'm giving him 2 check marks. Kamari's playing at a 2 check mark level. He might be playing closer to the full valid 2 check marks right now than Stingley. I know Stingley's the All-Pro, but Kamari's just a freak, and he's going to be super important in this matchup. So Kamari Lassiter, I'm giving him 2 check marks in this one. And I have to imagine this defense is going to dial it up just a little bit more in the playoffs. Going to take it to a little bit more of a next level. All right? Nothing on the inside. As much as Tommy Togiai scoring a touchdown last game gets me a little excited, Can't quite give him a check mark just yet. Sheldon Rankins, the unsung hero of this defensive line. But when Big Daniil is going to be a second-team All-Pro, how about a second check mark for Big Daniil Hunter? Okay? And then Will Anderson, the locomotive that makes this whole thing go, the monster, the freak, the prodigy, an All-Pro in his third season. Will Anderson, one of the best pass rushers in football. He's getting 2 checks. Look at this freaking defense filled with check marks. We got one for D'Amico Ryans. We got one for the linebackers. And then we have 4 on the defensive line, 4 in the secondary. How about 10 check marks for the Houston Texans on defense? What a defense they're taking in to the playoffs right here. Really, really impressive stuff. Might have been maybe a little generous, couple extra one, but when you're an All-Pro, you get 2, okay? And Kamari Lassiter going to get a bonus check mark there as well. Let's flip it over to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I'm going to split a check mark between these 2 running backs. I like what they've been able to do. Over 1,000 yards, over 1,000 total yards by both of the running backs. Warren's over almost at 1,000 with the rushes, and then gets right over there with the receiving, and then Gainwell's over 1,000 when you combine his receiving and rushing. So I'm splitting a check mark in between these two guys. Look, I'd be foolish to tell you that DK Metcalf doesn't deserve a check mark. DK Metcalf is still a dangerous, dangerous football player. He's very good at what he do. He's very good. And he's going to be out for blood, having to sit out 2 games, and the Steelers having to gut this thing out towards the back end of the season. DK Metcalf is going to absolutely deserve a check mark here. I'm going to go with a check mark for Boswell as well. He just had a really good run as a kicker. I know he's been a little shaky this year, but the been there, kicked that element of Chris Boswell, I think it deserves a check mark. I like Pat Freiermuth. I like their tight end room. I don't know that I like them enough to throw them a check mark. So I'm not going to throw them a check mark. So 10 for the Houston Texans defense and just 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. That's not good for Pittsburgh. It's not good. So 10 for the Texans defense, 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, 10-3 between those 2. Let's get the other half of this squared up and ready to go. The Houston Texans offense and the Steelers defense. We'll do that in a moment, right after I get you some comments, questions, joys, and concerns. And we talk about my friends at TDECU. TDECU Texans debit card headed your way if you walk into one of those 15 greater Houston area locations and get signed up for a TDECU Texans debit card. It's easy. There's low minimums. If you just want to have an extra bank account just to maybe set aside for your extra account to set aside for your vacations, or save it up for something, or an extra savings account, or just a checking account where you want to put some money and the checking account does more for you. TDCU has that and so much more. You get the beautiful Houston Texans debit card where it's going to get you 15% off in the online team store as well. You can learn all about it, tdcu.org/Texans. You get the process to join TDECU started right there on the website, tdcu.org/Texans. You just have to be a resident in the state of Texas to sign up with my friends at TDECU. So don't miss out on that opportunity. And man, they just do so much for you. Your credit union is not just a slogan. They mean it. They want to take care of you, handle your money, and do more with your money than other places. They're a credit union. So membership's required, and they're insured by the NCUA, but they can take care of you. And when you get signed up, tell them Cody Stoots sent you. So appreciate my friends at TDECU for sponsoring playoff coverage. All right, let's go. Monday night can't come soon enough. Yep, love that. Jimmy liked the playoff video. Michael's here for a live. Appreciate you checking in, Michael. Late, but did you see where he had some All-Pros? Certainly. We talked about that a little bit. Alejandro Mendoza Pacheco. travel. Hope you don't snore on the plane, Cody. Not my problem. That's what everybody else's problem. But it's not my problem if I snore on the plane. I probably do. But, that's a them problem. That's not a me problem. Chewy says Rodgers definitely going to test Reed and Petrie, but he also won't be scared to throw at Sting. Sting with a pick in this game. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I'm assuming is what Chewy's emojis mean. George says pancakes or waffles, asking for a friend. I think there's a moment for both of them, okay? If you're making a meal out of it, I feel like a big stack of pancakes with a side of bacon is the way to go if you're making a meal out of it. If you're trying to have an accompaniment to your meal, just having a waffle there, like a little table waffle that everybody kind of picks at, or having a waffle added to an already big breakfast, I think that's the way I go about it. I have wavered and, pardon the pun, waffled between the two. There's room for both of them at the breakfast table and the brunch table. And I like both of them. I've had probably more waffles recently, but I do like pancakes. So it's just something about that middle part of the pancake after it just gets drenched and soaked in syrup and butter. It doesn't get replicated by the waffle, but the waffle's fluffiness on the inside, the crunch on the outside, it's just tough to beat. So if you're making a meal out of it, pancakes. Big pancake, side of bacon. If you're adding it to the breakfast, throw a waffle there on the side. Looking at our defense versus their offense, I don't see them scoring more than 17 points on us. It's true. I mean, I do not see the Pittsburgh Steelers scoring a whole bunch of points in this one. I do not. Not in the slightest. So I'm with you on that. Let's get to the rest of the checkmark game. Let's do some more here. Texans offense, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Start handing some check marks out. All right, Mike Tomlin. He's done an excellent job coaching up this defense. They've been able to kind of put it together. All right, put it together and be good at it. And so Mike Tomlin getting a check mark. They've forced almost as many turnovers as the Texans. Forced almost as many turnovers as the Texans. Tomlin does a check mark for what he's been able to accomplish there with this defense. Their safeties are okay. Okay, there's some susceptibility here with the safeties. This is a defense that gives up the fourth most passing yards in football. Now, they do a decent job against the run, but they give up the fourth most passing yards in football. So the safeties are where they're pretty susceptible. Okay, even at the corner spots as well. And then Ramsey had a really rough game the other day. So, that's something to pay attention to. By the way, they're carrying over 3 from offense. The Texans are carrying over 10 from defense. So nobody in the secondary is getting a check from me. It's really about this front 7 here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Peyton Wilson was one of my favorite players, this linebacker that they have here. He's one of my favorite players in the draft a couple of years ago. Awesome to talk to at the Senior Bowl. Freak athlete. They can do a lot of stuff with him. Really good player. Patrick Queen, not as good as he was in Baltimore. Remember, the Texans chased Patrick Queen in free agency a couple of years ago. Ultimately did not end up getting Patrick Queen. But they chased Patrick Queen in free agency, so they think highly of him, but he has not quite been the monster that he was in Baltimore. So when I say the front 7, it's really not so much these linebackers. They're decent. They border on good, but it's not like an amazing linebacker tandem. It's really these 5 guys up here in the front. Alex Highsmith is a very good pass rusher. He's done a really good job. And I think he deserves a check mark. They have another guy that's a linebacker for them, Herbig. Okay. He's got almost as many sacks as Highsmith and Watt. Herbig gets a check mark as well. So that's a little, That's a check mark for Herbig. That's one of their backup linebackers who's a pass rusher, who's a depth guy. We're going to throw a check mark in there for him as well. Okay. Cam Hayward playing some of the best football of his career. Cam Hayward is an absolute monster right now. And if I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times. Cam Hayward's playing some of the best football of his career. Cam Hayward's playing some of the best football of his career. And he is. And he's a tough out. He's a tough out for these Texans. He is a second-team All-Pro. And what did I say? When you're an All-Pro, you get a check mark, okay? So second-team All-Pro there. And he's just playing excellent football at an advanced age. I like their defensive line as a whole. I liked Harmon a lot in the draft process. They're one of their defensive tackles. He's plays defensive end / defensive tackle for them. Benton's a big space eater. I'm not quite ready to throw them a check mark, but very good interior defensive line. That is something to watch out for and pay attention to in this game against the Texans for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is they are able to really clog some things up in the middle and get some push and some pass rush in that setup. So that's something to pay attention to. And then we go to TJ Watt. I mean, TJ Watt is excellent. He's healthier than he has been. We're throwing 2 check marks his way. So with the pass rushers, the front 7, Steelers adding to the equation. 3 on offense for them. Tomlin, Herbig, and Highsmith get them to 3. You throw 4 more in there for the big-time pass rushers. That gets the Steelers to 10, which matches the Texans' defense total. Now, let's throw the Texans some check marks over here. Actually, you know what? I want to say one more thing. The Steelers' coverage on special teams is good. We're going to throw them a special teams check mark. So we're going to bump it to 11 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay? 11 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, let's go over here on offense. Well, you know how this works. Nico Collins, check mark. Okay, check mark for Nico Collins. We know about that. Jaden Higgins is close, man. Higgins is real close to getting a check mark from me. Not quite there yet. Real close. Kirk's not getting a check mark. Chubb as the backup running back because no Jawar Jordan. More than likely not getting a check mark. Schultz, man, he kind of threw it back to the good version of himself last week. The previous 2 weeks, not so hot. I'm sneaking a check mark in here for Dalton. Let's go. Let's go Dalton Schultz check mark. Sneaking one in here for Dalton Schultz. And I might be getting ahead of myself here. This is not going to be the offensive line. Uh-oh. Hold on now. That's not it. This is going to be 77. And this is going to be Brown. And this is going to be 71. Howard. Oh, I jacked this up. I had the old O-line in there. I didn't fix it. All right. Drawing names with a mouse, not good. But this could be 71 and 77. We'll be back to the normal offensive line. With the normal offensive line, 3 consecutive games of no sacks allowed. I'm giving them an O-line check. I might be eating my words Monday night, but I'm giving them an O-line check. I feel like they're playing really good football right now. I'm giving them an O-line check. Ursery and Howard and Andrews and Ingram and Brown, I'm giving them an O-line check. So the Texans with 10 from defense. You add in Nico Collins. You add in Dalton Schultz. You add in the offensive line. Man, I'm so close to throwing Woody a check mark. So close. Not quite there yet. 13 for the Texans. A big defensive advantage versus the Steelers offense, but it flips over at a big advantage. Steelers getting 2 special teams checks, which helps push them up a little bit. So 11 total for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 13 total for the Houston Texans. Texas vet says, hey, what about Kaimi? Doesn't Kaimi get a kicker check mark? Not in Pittsburgh, not in the cold, not outside. So not there yet for Kaimi, not throwing him a check mark in this one. 13-11, your final score here in the check mark game. We will review those next week, assuming the Texans play a game next week and have a check mark game to discuss. So that will be good. Don't forget, my friends at One Stop Card Shop are giving you the opportunity here to win this CJ Stroud PSA and 9 rookie card. Man, it is a gorgeous card. I love these absolute football cards. These rookie cards are fantastic. This one's already PSA graded for you. This is a great way to start your collection. All you have to do, head over to One Stop Card Shop TX on Facebook. Follow them. Comment on this post, like this post. We want you to comment a score prediction and a first touchdown score prediction. One Stop Card Shop's going to give away a winner to the first touchdown score. One Stop Card Shop's going to give away the closest score prediction that's correct. And then I'm going to randomly select somebody who comments on this post and predicts a score, and I'm going to give them a CJ Stroud card as well, some cards for my personal collection. So there's your chance. One Stop Card Shop TX. They are fantastic. I love what those guys are doing over there in Bel Air with trading cards from your Magic and Pokemon to your football, your baseball, your basketball cards. They've got everything at One Stop Card Shop, and they would love to see you roll in there and talk to them. Do a little comments, questions, joys, and concerns, and then playing cards as tarot cards. Let's see what we come up with. Evan says, I think if we just contain DK Metcalf and tackle, we win. That's seems like a pretty good approach there. Hey, go take care of DK Metcalf. Don't let him hit an explosive play. The Steelers aren't going to put together long, drawn-out drives against you. I feel pretty comfortable about that being the recipe for success. I feel pretty good. LP King says, what's up, Stoots? Top of the morning to you. Good to see you, LP King. Who gets more carries, Brooks or Dare? I hope 0. I hope they have enough between Woody and a little bit of Chubb that they're good. Good to see you, 21 Savage. What are your keys to this game for the Texans? Well, don't allow explosive plays because the Steelers aren't going to matriculate the ball and move it on like a big 10-play drive against you. Tackle well. They're going to throw it sideways a bunch, and if you tackle well, that's going to put them in a position where you can just absolutely crush them. And then on offense, don't panic. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, and you'll be just fine. Okay? You should be able to move the football enough to put points on the board. Don't settle too much for field goals. You will need to operate as if Kaimi's distance is shortened, and because it is with the cold and the wind and the surface in Pittsburgh. The distance is not nearly as apparent as it is in NRG. So don't settle for Kaimi kicks. Make sure you're able to move the football a little bit more. It's pretty simple stuff here. I don't think there's anything too advanced or crazy in this matchup. Okay. No check for Joey Porter Jr. No check. No check for Jalen Nolan. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Jay Flores Jr. finally able to catch a live stream. Thanks again for stopping by our tailgate this past game. Well, you guys do a great job over there at the tailgate. And, man, a party every time with you guys. Party every time. Evan, should they stay aggressive on 3rd, 4th down? I don't know that going for it is the way. Like if you can kick it and make it and it's comfortable, go ahead and kick it or punt it and trust the defense. I don't think you need to be going for it a bunch on 4th down or anything like that. Trust the kickers and trust the defense. Aurelio Torres. CJ got to show why he's the franchise quarterback. The defense can't carry the team every time. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? CJ has a huge game. They dominate the Steelers. Wouldn't that be fantastic? As a vet, Rodgers is going to keep his hands in his pocket and hit a hard count, something to watch for. Yeah, don't jump. Will's jumped a couple times this year. Don't jump, Will. Don't jump. Don't jump. All right. I'll make sure I'm taking care of my P's and Q's here once again. If you want to follow along on Sleeper, this is the Sleeper entry for this week. 5 different pieces. We get 23 times our entry. I feel strongest about Collins, Stroud, and Boswell. I just threw the sacks in there because it's playoff time. Go big or go home. Use the code Stoots, STOOTS. When you get signed up for Sleeper. Okay. Is everybody ready? Playing cards as tarot cards. Okay, playing cards as tarot cards. I have a 2024 score pack, and I have a 2025 score pack. 22 cards over here, 15 cards over here. Here's what tarot cards as playing cards means. Means we'll go through these packs. If we pull Pittsburgh Steelers, if we pull Houston Texans, if we pull some of the other playoff teams, players, that may mean that player is due for a big game or a notable moment in these games. I do love me some cardboard. You can call me Cardboard Cody. Okay. So let's start with the 2024 score pack. I was at the H-Town Card Show this past weekend, and I just love these big score packs here. And they just got a ton of cards in them. Oh, man. What a start to the pack here. Oh, the vet, Cam Hayward, right off the bat. So Cam Hayward maybe going to have a big game in this one. That's Xavier McKinney, Brian Dawkins, Shaquille Barrett, James Conner, Sam Hubbard. I'll flip it around here. Will Lutz, the kicker for the Broncos. Barry Sanders. The Lions aren't in the playoffs here. Matt Stafford. Maybe the Rams get a little revenge for that regular season loss to the Carolina Panthers. That's one to pay attention to. Uh-oh. Sorry, Chargers. Mike Vrabel's in this pack. Vrabel and his Patriots going to have a big one. Hey-oh, Kaimi Fairbairn. He said, Cody, you didn't give me a check. I'm showing up in the playing cards as tarot cards. That's notable. Kaimi Fairbairn in this one. Ivan Pace Jr. Got a Bo Nix card. Why is all this stuff flipped around? A Bo Nix. Maybe the Broncos will get what they want this week. Theo Johnson, the rookie last year for the Giants, a rookie card from the Titans. Maybe the Titans will actually hire a coach worth a hoot. Javon Baker, not been very good. Tyler Guyton, a Cowboys guy. Calvin Ridley on the green. Ugh. Celebration Will Levis. Ugh. This has not been the most fun score pack ever. A throwback 2024 Marvin Harrison Jr. rookie card. Maybe they'll hire a cool coach. Amon-Ra St. Brown and league leaders Dak Prescott. So that score pack gave us 2 pieces of the equation in the playing cards as tarot cards. So a Kaimi Fairbairn card and a Cam Hayward card. The Ironhead's son. Take care of business on that defensive line. Let's open a 2025 score pack and see what it has to offer for us. See if we can get some more playing cards as tarot cards. Jahade Barron, excuse me. Colston Loveland, hey, maybe the rookie for the Chicago Bears will have a big one here. Kyle McCord, that's a rookie for the Eagles. Shador, nice little Shador Sanders rookie card. Kevin Winston Jr. This is Jalen Reed's teammate at Penn State and spoke very highly of Jalen Reed. So maybe Jalen Reed's in for a big one with his teammate being on here. League leaders, Brandon Aubrey. Ooh, that's a nice card. Throwbacks, Malik Neighbors. I like that. Malik Neighbors throwbacks card. We'll set that on the side. Maybe the Seahawks will get to play who they want to play. They're, of course, not playing this week. They got the bye. Isaiah Pacheco, his ass is sitting at home. Hey, there's a Herbert card. Maybe the Chargers will get it done. Quinyon Mitchell, first-team All-Pro. Very good. Maybe the Eagles take care of the 49ers this weekend on the back of Quinyon Mitchell. Rashee Rice, hopefully he's not driving this weekend. James Cook, the running back for the Buffalo Bills. Fantastic. The Bills, maybe they knock off the Jaguars, get the AFC South's other team out of the playoffs. And there's a Dak Prescott card. And then, hey, Jacoby Myers, that's a Raiders card, but he's on the Jaguars now. So maybe they get something good from Jacoby Myers in their matchup against the Bills. Okay. Playing cards as tarot cards. We only got 2 cards from the actual matchup. Only got 2 cards. What do you say we open another pack, huh? Hoping to get some more Texans or some more Steelers to kind of give us a hint at maybe what this weekend is going to hide. Maybe we open another pack. How about that? What do you think about that? One more pack here to see if more Texans pop up out of the pack. Let's see. Let's see what we can get into here. One more pack of cards. Playing cards as tarot cards. All right. Will Campbell, the rookie for the New England Patriots. Maybe the Patriots have a big week. Cam Williams, he's a rookie for the Eagles. Didn't play a ton. Mason Taylor, he's sitting at home. Kyle Monungai, 7th-round pick. Went many picks after Graham Mertz. 7th-round pick, Kyle Monungai. I like Kyle Monungai a lot. I'll hang on to that one. A Jaden Daniels celebration card. He didn't do much of that this year. A Malik Neighbors celebration card. Again, he did not do much of that this year. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How about a Danielle Hunter sack attack card? That kind of seems to me Danielle Hunter's getting home. Danielle Hunter going to get to Aaron Rodgers and get a sack on his old NFC North friend. So Danielle Hunter getting in there. And then how about some old mojo? Okay, the Oilers and the Steelers, horrific rivals back in the day. How about some Earl Campbell? First ballot right here. Get some real kind of some old school mojo. Go get some revenge for those Oilers teams that got beat up by those Steelers team. I love that. I love that. Bo Nix here. Mike Sanderstrom, good player for the Commies. Michael Penix, he's sitting at home. Jordan Mailata, not very many offensive line cards in these. Terrell Suggs, that's an old school. Roshan Johnson, I don't think he's on the Bears anymore. And then Saquon Barkley there. So a couple of Eagles here, including Barkley and Quinyon Mitchell. So maybe the Eagles are going to take care of the 49ers tomorrow. All right, so we got Cam Hayward. That was the very first card in the very first pack that we opened. Okay, so we got Cam Hayward. That bodes well for the Steelers, I guess. We followed that up with Kaimi Fairbairn. You know, I got a little worried about Kaimi and the elements and maybe the distance, but we got Kaimi. You know, that was good. Then the next pack didn't really give us anything for this matchup, but the final pack gave us plenty. The Oilers were tortured by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Houston Oilers, not the Tennessee Oilers. The Houston Oilers were tortured by the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to get some revenge for them. So a little Earl Campbell here. Go get some revenge. And then how about you get some revenge with that sack attack? Danielle Hunter sack attack card. The playing cards as tarot cards tells me Danielle Hunter, Kaimi Fairbairn, they do just enough to help this Texans team get over the hump and get the win. Playing cards as tarot cards. If you saw any cards that you really wanted out of this one, let me know. I'll see about sending them to you in the mail. So, all right, that will do it for the show today. Okay, I have an expectation of talking to Trent Brown. We'll have that on the SNL channel. Of course, we'll have SNL for you on Monday, getting you ready for the game Monday night as well. So, appreciate everybody for hopping in. Go get you a Manta sleep mask. Go sign up at Sleeper. Go get you a TDCU Texans debit card to pay for it all. 21 Savage. Nice. Hope Hunt and Willie Anderson Jr. can make Rodgers uncomfortable. Absolutely they will. Absolutely they will. So with that all said, we wrap up the live stream the same way we wrap up all the live streams. We end the show the same way each and every time. It's my hope for you. It's my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity-doo.